Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. My name is Richard Ross, your instructor. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to take that free customer template that we built a few weeks ago, and we're going to add contacts to it. So every time you talk to a customer, you can track it in a subform right on the customer's main form. And I'm also going to throw in a bonus free extended cut that normally goes for just the members. I'm going to show you how to create a status box on your main menu and make a button. So when we click on the button, it'll show Hello World in that status box. And you can use that status box for displaying pretty much any kind of message that you want. And that's going to be a free extended cut at the end of this video. Stay tuned. Today's question comes from Brandon from Toledo, Ohio, a silver member. Brandon says, I've been using your free customer template for a while now. Thank you. It was very helpful to get me started. How can I track contacts with my customers? Each time I talk to them, I've been putting stuff in the notes field, but they're getting kind of full. Advice. Well, Brandon, I've got a separate video that covers setting up relationships between two tables. You want to put the contacts for those customers in a different table. That way there's no limit to the amount of information that you can store there. I'm going to put a link to that video in the description down below this one. So go watch that first. But since you brought this up, I'm also going to show you how to put contacts in a subform in the template that you have right now, the old customer template. And the reason why is because I myself find that every time I do a new class or a Tech Help video, I've been using that template and having to rebuild this multiple times. So in this video, we're going to add that contacts subform to the main form. But go watch the relationships video first. It better explains how relationships are made. Then come back and watch this one, and I'll walk you through setting up that subform. And then when we're done with that, we'll set up this Hello World stuff. But that'll be at the end of the lesson. Okay, so this is the blank template with the customer form and the customer list in it. And if you haven't watched the video where I create this, go watch that now. I'll put a link down in the description below the video. Watch that first so you know how I built this. Now, I've been using this blank template in a lot of my other videos, which is why I built it in the first place. And I keep finding myself wanting to add a couple of things to it because every time I start a video, I always end up adding a couple of things, the same things. First, I want to add a status box. Then I want to add contacts, something to have a relationship with, because I do a lot of videos on relationships. So I'm going to make another level of this, which is going to be customers with contacts, and we're going to put a status box in the main menu. All right, the first thing I'm going to show you is a little trick. Now, a lot of people ask me this. If I open up my customer table, notice how my IDs go 1, 2, 3, 8. Okay, this happens sometimes. I must have added 4, 5, and 6, and then deleted them, added 7, deleted it. Now 8 was the next one when I typed in Jean-Luc Picard. If you don't have any other tables in the database yet, just your customers, okay, so these IDs aren't linked anywhere, and you want to reset them 1, 2, 3, 4, here's how. It's a quick little trick. First, we're going to copy and paste the structure of our table. So copy, Control-C, and then paste, Control-V, and then just put structure only. That will copy the table itself, but not the data in it. Okay, so my auto numbers are all reset. Now, since the fields are the same, open up Customer T, copy these 4 records, Control-C, open up the copy table, click, and then paste them in. And now I got 1, 2, 3, 4. The auto numbers will reset, and they'll all be one after the other. Again, don't do this if these IDs are used in another table because it will scramble all of your data. But for me, I just wanted to reset that auto number. Because every time I open up a class, right, and I'm in here and I'm like, oh, why is it 8? I want 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just, it's purely cosmetic. Again, you shouldn't worry about what that auto number is at all. All right, I'm just doing it for class because everybody always asks me, why is it 8? Now I can delete the old customer T and just rename this one customer T. All right, and again, it's purely cosmetic. You don't have to worry about that. There's my customer form and my customer list. Okay, everyone is back to where I wanted them. Now let's add a quick contact management in here. So create, and then table design. First up, now if you don't know about table relationships, go watch my relationships video. I'll put a link down below. Go watch that first. All right, so you understand how to make relationships between two tables. This is just a quickie for updating the customer template. We're going to have a contact ID, and to me, a contact is anytime you talk to somebody, or they come in your store, or you call them on the phone. That's a contact, an instance of a contact. That'll be my auto number. Then I'll have a customer ID, so I know who I was talking to. That'll be a number of type long integer. That's my foreign key. It's going to point to the customer table. Then we've got a contact date time. or just contact date's fine. Keep it short. And that will be a date time. I'm going to set the default value equals now. That is the date and time, and Access will automatically put that in there each time I add a record. Again, if you're not familiar with the default value property, I got a video for that too. Go look down the links below the video and I'll point you to it. Then we've got description, which will be short text, and then notes, which will be long text. And I differentiate between the two. The description can be something short and sweet, whereas notes can be pretty much as much information as you want to type in, long details. Short text fields have benefits like they're better to index. You can search and sort on them better and stuff like that. But I like to put one of each in there. And then if you want to, put something in here like a follow-up, and that'll be a yes/no field. And if you want to follow up with this person, just check that box. Okay, then we can make a follow-up query later on, and you can see who are all the contacts that I still have to follow up with. All right, so I'm going to save that as my contact table, primary key. Yes, that's the auto number right there. Now we're going to set up a contact form for each customer, but I want to set this up so it's going to be a subform inside of the customer's form. So when I open up the customer form, okay, maybe over here we'll see their last couple contacts. Now, fortunately, because this is my blank template, I've got a continuous form blank set up right here. So we can just copy this guy, right? That's the whole point of these templates. Copy, paste. This will be the contact F. And now we just modify this guy. Right-click, design view. First thing I'm going to do is change colors a little bit. Let's so it looks different. All right, and this is something we'll have to do each time. Let's go with this reddish color here for my contacts. There we go. Let's go with that, and then maybe that one. Okay, let's set up the record source as contact T. Continuous forms is good. Everything else looks fine. In here now, we don't need the contact ID, and we actually don't need the customer ID either, because as soon as we make this a subform, there's going to be a relationship formed by the link fields. I'll show you that in a second. So what fields do we need in here? Again, taking a look at our table, we got the contact date we can put in there, the description, the notes, and the follow-up. So here's what we're going to do. This guy is already here, so let's set this one equal to control source is going to be the date, let's say. Make sure you copy that and put it up here in the name. I'm going to put a format in here of MMDDYYHH:NN. Remember, N is for minute. All right, now this will be in military format, which is okay with me. All right, I like to see the 1600, but you could change that if you want to. Actually, let me change that because I know most of my students don't like that. Let's go AM/PM after that. All right, make it easy, make it better for everybody. In my personal databases, I just use 24-hour format. All right, the other fields we'll bring in from the Add Existing Fields box, which is right there. Let's take the description and put it there. I'll just delete that label because I'll copy the one off the top. There's a description, maybe about yay big. Actually, let's bring the description. Actually, we have to remember this is going to fit inside of a form inside of the customer form, so we're not going to make it huge. So let's make the description about this big. And what we're going to do is we're going to put notes down here in the footer, like this. You'll see where I'm going with this in a second. All right, there's notes. And follow-up will be right down here. Like there. Maybe up top. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, let's make that white. All right, that looks a little dark, actually. Let's go a little darker down here. There we go. Follow-up. And that can shrink up to there. Notes. I'm going to make notes like that yellow background. There we go. All right, let's see what everything looks like. Let's save this, close it, open it back up again. Oh, I opened the table. My bad. Contacts. There we go. Looks good. Let's maybe left justify that, and we can actually make it a little bit smaller. Design view. Let's go left justify, left align, I should say. All right. And let's make this guy not a tab stop. Open it up, find tab stop. Where is that? Under other? Tab stop is no. That way when I open this up or when I tab to it, it doesn't start here in the date field. It just starts over here. All right, so I can type in my stuff right away. Let's fix our labels across the top. Slide this over here. Change this guy to date time. That's a label, remember. And we'll put in here notes. Save it, close it, one more peek. Okay, looks good. Now, we're going to make this a subform inside of this guy. So, right-click, Design View. Where do we want to put it? Let's make this a bigger form going vertically. So let's do this. Let's take this family size and all this content and move it over here. Like that. That looks good. All right, we'll put is active right there. All right, that looks good. Let's take these notes and slide them down here on the bottom, like that. The customer's notes will go there. All right, looks good. Now we got plenty of room here for that subform. So all we're going to do is take the contact F right from here, click, drag, drop. There it goes. All right, delete that little label that comes in with it. We're going to slide this guy up here, maybe put it right about there. Let's do it. And we can make this nice and big, like so. All right, slide this edge in. If you want to put a label above that to kind of describe what that is, you can. All right, we'll just copy one of these labels, copy, paste, slide it over here. And we'll type in contacts, contact history. Save it, close it. Now let's open it up. Boom. Look at that. Form, subform. So now when this person contacts me, you can click right here in the notes, called about a job. Tab, and it goes right to the next one. Right? Came in for interview. Now what I like to do is, if there's stuff down here, I like to put a little star in here. That just kind of indicates that there's more notes down here. Was impressed with his whatever. And I want to follow up on it. See? Oh, look at that. I forgot to turn that off. That color there. That's actually in the template, and there's really no getting around that. Design view, the alternating background color. Right? We changed the color for here. Right? We got to change that background color too. There. And you'll know what I mean if you watch the other video. Okay? See? Yeah, you could programmatically do it, so if there are notes down here, you can have a little symbol or something show up top here. You can do that. This is just something that I do informally. I do it in in Google Calendars. I use Google Calendars, and if I put something in my calendar and I want to remind myself that I've got notes down below, I put a little star in the title. There is a way that you could do this with VBA, and if anyone wants to see it, let me know. Send me a note, and I can do a video on that. Now, how does Access know that these are contacts for Richard Ross? If I go to a different customer, if I open up, let's say, Jean-Luc, right, there's no information there. Well, if you go into Design View, and again, if you watch my form and subform lesson, which again I'll put a link down in the description below. If you look at the properties for this object, for this subform, not this guy. That's the form. This is the form properties for the form inside of here. What you want is it's slightly different. It's the border right here is the subform. All right, make sure it says subform there. All right, but if you go to data, you'll see right here, link master fields, link child fields. Customer ID is in both of those. Okay, Access knew to do that when we created the relationship, when we put the subform inside of the main form. All right, to properly guess that because it saw that was the primary key field. So now you don't need contact ID in here because I don't really care to see it. Okay, and I'm not going to refer to it anywhere else. And you don't have to put customer ID in here because Access will automatically fill the customer ID in for you because of that relationship. So if I open up, Jim Kirk, open customer. All right, let me slide this over just a little bit more. There we go. All right, save it there. All right, if I put in here, fought Klingons. Okay, now if I go back to my record, it doesn't show up there because it's related. If you look in the table, right, here's the dates and all that, and the customer ID is properly put in there for you by that relationship. All right, and now since you're tracking follow-ups, you could easily make yourself a query to pull up, show me all my follow-ups. All right, you can do that for homework if you want to. And if anyone wants to see it, drop me a line. Maybe I'll make a video on it. Really easy to do. I've got videos on that too. I'm making queries. Okay, so that is adding a subform and a relationship to our template, which I want to do because a lot of the videos that I do have to deal with relationships. Oh, the reason for this down here, by the way, is that you can put the extra information here, and notice it's linked to whatever record I'm on up top. Okay, this field down here, this notes field, this long text field, will be for whatever record I am on up top here. See that? Okay, you can put follow-up up here if you want to. I think it works fine down there. Okay, now the next thing that I find myself putting in a lot of my videos is a status box. Now this is a little more advanced. This involves some programming, okay? But I want to put it in my beginner template because I do this in pretty much all of my developer classes lately. I've been adding this in, and I've been using this template for it. So you're getting a sneak preview of some Visual Basic training, okay? It's basically a little box in the main menu where I can click a button and it says something. All right, and the whatever it says is whatever I happen to be covering in that class. Like lately I've been doing record sets, and you can loop through tables and stuff with your Visual Basic code, and I like to use the status box to show what's happening. So here's what's going to happen. Right-click Design View. We're going to put a big gray box on here. So go to Text Boxes, drop it right here, delete the little label that comes in with it. Okay, you can put it anywhere you want. You can put it down on the bottom. You can put it up top. I like to put it like over here, because sometimes these can get long. You want to see status information. And I want to make it gray because I don't want to let the user think they can type stuff in here. Okay. Open the properties up. Go to all. We're going to call this guy the StatusBox, status box. Okay, and that's it for that. Now I'm going to drop a button down here. So I'm going to go to Design, Command button, drop that down here, cancel the wizard. All right. And whatever you want to put in this box is what's going to show up in the status box. So what are we going to put in here? Well, for this class, just a sample, we'll put in like Hello World. All right, that's usually your first program when you start programming, like in BASIC. I started back in the 80s in a TRS-80 Radio Shack computer. And what you do is you do, like in BASIC, you do like 10 print Hello World, and it shows up on the screen. All right, and then you do 20 go to 10, and it just loops, and everyone thinks it's cool. All right, so we'll do a Hello World example. All right. And before we put some code in this button, we're going to double click on it and give it a good name right here. I don't like Command 9, and my buddy Alex will yell at me if I leave it like that, so I'll just put in here Hello World button, BTN. That's the name of that button. All right, now we're ready to put some code in it. Easiest way, right click, go to Build Event. That's off my screen. Hang on, I'll let you see it. Right click and then Build Event. There it is. That opens up the Visual Basic for Applications, the VBA window. You may see a prompt before this asking you what kind of builder do you want. Pick the Code Builder, C-O-D-E, Code Builder. I have my database defaulted to that because I never use the other builders. So this is where we write the code that runs when you push that command button. So I could just come in here and say something like message box hello world, like that. All right, save it, come back over to my database, and let's save this guy and reopen it. There we go. Now if I hit hello world, there's my message box, hello world. But I don't want that to show up here in a message box. I want it to be in my status box. That's the whole reason for the status box. So let's go back to the VBA editor. I just leave them both open on the bottom, by the way. Never close this window. Just leave it open. You can either minimize it, or you can click on the access window behind it. Okay? I want to put this inside that status box. And I'm going to make a private subroutine to do that for me. So private sub status, and then I'm going to send it some information, S as a string. And inside of here, I'm going to say status box equals S and VB new line and status box do events. All right, and that's it. That's that simple. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to call the subroutine status. I'm going to send it some information, S in this case, whatever it is, whatever I want to appear in that box. Then I'm going to set the status box equal to S plus a blank line plus whatever the status box had in it previously. That way I can get it to add more stuff to itself. Now, new stuff will come up on top of the window, so you got to kind of read it backwards, but that's okay. That doesn't bother me. All right, it's a whole lot easier than putting stuff in the box and having to scroll to the bottom. That's possible, but it causes flashing on the screen. So just get in the habit for these status boxes of reading stuff backwards, that's all. Do events is so that in case I'm calling status inside of a loop, like in a record set loop, I don't want the system basically freezing up. It won't update the screen if you don't issue a do event. Do event says, forget what you're doing and go ahead and let the rest of the processes that are running take over. All right, that's all do events is. Now here, instead of message box hello world, I'm going to say status hello world, and it'll call my status subroutine right there. Okay? So now if I come back over here and push my button, boom, hello world, it goes in the status box. Hit it again, hit it again, hit it again, hit it again. All right, and if you want a time on there, you can put a time index in there somewhere. You could do like right here. You could do format now, comma, just HH:NN is usually good enough, like that, and then maybe a colon space. Right, that'll put the hour and minute in there, and then a colon. So you can do this. You can go status like that, and it puts the hour and minute in there. Okay, I'm not going to do that for the final version. I don't really care. All right, just for my template, I just want that. Okay. See? This way, if I'm running something else, it can status. We can actually make that font a little smaller. Let's come in here and go format. Let's make it maybe 9 point. Yeah, that looks better. StatusBox doesn't have to be that big. There. You want to see a loop real quick? Because I'll give you an idea of what's happening. You could say, like in here, you could say like dim x as an integer for x equals 1 to 10, right? And then you can status hello world and x and then next, like that. All right, now it'll put 10 of them in there. See? There you go. There's a simple loop. Okay, but again, I don't want all that in there for my template, so we'll just get rid of that stuff. I just wanted to show you a couple tricks why I want this in there. Because when I start doing other code, other classes, then you know, I don't have to rebuild all this now. Because I just did Developer 19 and I was rebuilding all this every time I did a lesson. Now I can just say, go download the template, and we're going to start from here. Now, for those of you who are not members on my YouTube channel yet, this is the kind of thing that I do for the extended cut for the members videos. Like the free tech help video would have been adding in this stuff, the context stuff. And then I'm like, well, for members, we're going to do a little something extra, and I'll do this. I'll show more. That's what the extended cuts are for. So if you're not a member yet, this is some free advertising for me. Since I just showed you some stuff, I get to advertise for a second. Okay? That's how this works. I strongly suggest join my channel. It's what am I charging now? $5.99 a month? It's not much. A month. And I try to do 2 or 3 extended cuts every week. So there you go. This template will now be added to the templates that are on my website. You could download it for free. Just follow the links in the description down below. And if you have any questions, of course, feel free to post them. Thanks. Take care. How do you become a member? Click on the Join button below the video. Silver members and up will get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, live video and chat sessions, and other perks. After you click the Join button, you'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks. But don't worry, these tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and feel free to share it wherever you think it might help people who are interested in Access. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free, and click on the bell icon to select all to be notified every time I post a new video. YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted. So if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link below to join my mailing list. Click on the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. You'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access. It's over 3 hours long, and you can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll include a link below you can click on. And if you like Level 1, Level 2 is just $1, and that is free for all members of my YouTube channel at any level. Want to have your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my Tech Help page, and you can send me your question there. If you have a specific problem you need help with, or you'd like to discuss having a database built for your needs, I do offer one-on-one consulting. Be sure to follow my blog and find me on Facebook, Twitter, and of course, YouTube. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something today. I'll see you again soon.